Hey guys, today we are printing on white t-shirts. I'm going to take you guys through my pre-treat process as well as my print process, so stay tuned. So like I said, I'm going to be printing on some white t-shirts here, and I'm going to show you my process on how I print these. I do want to lead with a disclaimer that this isn't necessarily the correct way. This is just how I print on white t-shirts. Everybody's going to maybe print a little bit differently with different steps. I'm going to go as in-depth as possible to cover everything, so if you are struggling, maybe you can try and follow this and see if you get better results. Ultimately, the correct way to make these shirts is going to be what works best for you as well as for your customers. With all of that out of the way, I do have 4 different shirts that I'm going to be testing today. So the first one I have here is the All Style. This is the 1301. They have switched over and recently are being labeled as American Apparel once they got acquired, I believe, by Gildan. This is going to be one of the more cheaper options that we're testing out. However, I do honestly like these shirts, so we'll see how this turns out. For the next shirt here, I have the Bella Canvas. This is the 3001. This is a very common shirt. I think Bella Canvas does a great job of advertising, and people, once they wear their shirt, they do like them. Overall, it's going to be a little bit more expensive than the All Style, so we'll see how this one prints out. After that, we have the next level, 3600. This is going to be very comparable to the Bella Canvas. It's going to be very soft, ring spun cotton, and it is a great option. However, out of these two, again, I think Bella is probably going to be the more common, but this is a good alternative that you can also get. Last but not least, we have the Cotton Heritage. This is the 1086, 100% cotton, just like the rest of them. It's a very nice tight weave. And honestly, Cotton Heritage is one of those brands that DTG printers love, and they're top rated in the DTG industry. A couple things you want to keep in mind other than the print quality when you are purchasing t-shirts is how easily accessible these are to get. With that being said, these first 3 are available from most wholesale options: SS Activewear, Sanmar, Alpha Broder. You can typically get the All Style, the Bella Canvas, and the next level. The Cotton Heritage, they ship direct from Cotton Heritage. With that being said though, they are, in my opinion, a little bit higher quality at the same price point as these other 2. And then of course the All Style is the cheapest option here. So that's the complete breakdown for the shirts that I'll be using today. Next thing I'm going to be discussing is the pre-treat. My go-to is the FBX Vivid from Firebird. Typically they come in a gallon jug depending on how much you're purchasing. What I like to do is stick it into this little spritz bottle, and I'll show you guys on the heat press why I do this. Alternatively, of course, you can use a pre-treat machine, but as I'll show you here, I've always had the FBX Vivid pre-treat loaded up, ready to go. However, I've never actually used that. As you can see here, it's completely clear and the bottle's completely full. So ultimately, I'll probably take that out. Since I found this process, you can use the pre-treat machine, but for me, I find there's really no reason to go through the whole process of getting it set up, purging the lines, getting the pre-treat in there, and getting everything ready to start pre-treating, when I can simply just use a spray bottle and get very similar results on the heat press. Speaking of heat press, this is going to be the heat press that I will be using. This is the Stahl's Hotronix Fusion IQ. I like this because it does have a swing away arm as well as a drawer to pull out, and it just makes everything a little bit more accessible. For the settings, I typically keep it at 320 degrees Fahrenheit. The only other option I use is 290 degrees, which I only use for the transfers. But for everything else, I keep it at 320. It does say 60 seconds. I adjust that depending on what kind of shirt I'm printing. For these white t-shirts, I'll press it for about anywhere between 45 seconds to 60 seconds. With all of that out of the way, I'm gonna get you guys set up on the tripod here, and I'm gonna show you guys the process. I'm gonna do my best to keep everything consistent between these 4 t-shirts, but I will be pre-treating them and getting them ready one at a time. So let me get you guys set up and I'll show you guys the process. All right, so I'm gonna demonstrate this process, the whole thing on the All Style here. I'm gonna do everything the same for the other shirts, but I'm not gonna show that just to save some time on the video, but I will be doing everything consistently. First thing you're going to want to do, of course, is get the shirt onto the platen. And once you do have that set, the first thing I would want to do is make sure there's no lint or hair or anything on the shirt. I would go ahead and lint roll it. I've already done that for all these shirts, so I don't have to worry about it. Next thing I want to get is going to be my pre-treat bottle, as well as I like to keep one of these little foam rollers. Both of these, I'll have a link in the description below for you to check out. Essentially, all I'm going to be doing is pre-pressing for about 10 seconds to get any water, any moisture out of the fibers, then quickly spraying and doing a nice even coverage of the shirt with the pre-treat. Once that's on there, I do like to roll it to get the pre-treat into the fibers, and then press it again to dry out the pre-treat, and then once that's dry, we are ready to print. So first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and get it with a pre-press. As for settings, we already talked about temperature. For the time, like I said, we're going for about 10 seconds. Pressure, I aim for a medium pressure. On the Fusion IQ, this is going to be a 4 for me. It might be different for different machines, so keep that in mind. But once that is pre-pressed, I have everything completely flat. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out a little bit and then spray it down. And then once I spray it down, go ahead and give it a quick roll. This also does help to flatten out the fibers a little bit. And to cover it up, I like to use these parchment papers. They are sold by Equipment Zone, as well as you can get a bunch from Uline as well. And again, another press here, again, same pressure. And I like to let it sit for about 15 seconds. And what I will go ahead and do is check if the pre-treat is dry. I'm gonna go ahead and hit it for another press. 30 seconds should be plenty since I didn't put a ton of pre-treat in there. If you feel the shirt, you should get a bit of a starchy feel. One thing I do see sometimes is if you put it in the heat press for too long or too high of a temperature, you can scorch the shirt as well as cook the pre-treat. So this one's good to go. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other three off camera. So next time I see you guys, we'll be in front of the printer and then we'll get them all printed. For the printer, I've already had everything sent over here, so it is ready to go. It's been waiting for me, but I do wanna go over the settings here for a second before I start printing. Firstly, the art, this is the image that I'm using. I know it's gonna be a little pixelated, so I'm gonna throw the full resolution up here, as well as here's the setting. I made a separate preset for myself that has the white t-shirt and a double strike included. These are the settings here, but to save you some time, I'm gonna screenshot this and put it over here on the left so you can pause and add these settings to yourself. You do perhaps wanna go through and adjust these color settings yourself if you do wanna dial it in. Two of the things that I do wanna point out that are the major differences are gonna be, first thing is the print option. I do have it on a double strike as opposed to normal print. This is essentially gonna print the image twice and go over itself. In addition to that, I do have 30 seconds of dry time here. First, it's gonna print the first layer as normal, then it's gonna pull out and dry for about 30 seconds, which is, it's just gonna sit there for about 30 seconds. And then once the 30 seconds is over, it will go back in and print another layer. I've found this helps with the fading over time because it does have that first layer to build into the fabric and the second layer just kind of helps a little bit. It does oversaturate it a bit because you are doing two layers of the same color. So again, you might want to dial these color settings to see what works best for you. This is just what I typically use, and so far I haven't had any issues with that. With that, I've already sent everything to the printer, so it is waiting to print. Again, I do have 4 copies, so it's going to be the exact same print every single time for these 4 shirts. The next thing I'm going to have to do is get everything loaded up. As for the Platen, I was printing some transfers earlier, so it is on P. I typically start with this at the 1 mark, 2 clicks up. You really shouldn't ever have to go to 2 unless it's a really thick t-shirt. Somewhere usually though between 1 and 2 is going to be the sweet spot there. I'm going to get the shirt loaded up, and then we can go print everything, and then after that we will be curing it all. All right, so that's the all style. As you guys saw, it did 2 passes with a 30-second pause in between. The results are pretty good. I am still printing the other ones. I have the Bella on there now, and then I have the Next Level and Cotton Heritage left to go. I haven't cured this yet. I am going to show you guys what they look like all here wet first, and then I'll go ahead and cure them all together. Make sure you guys stay until the end of the video though, because I am going to go over how these look after the wash. I am going to wait 24 hours, then go ahead and wash them and see if they fade or see if they hold up. From my experience, the reason why I both pre-treat and use the double strike is because if I did one or the other and not both, I would have a little bit of fading after I washed it. So since then, I've been doing both and I've had pretty good results, but also it does depend on the fabric and how well the ink gets into the fabric. So pretty good results. Finishing up the other ones, I'll bring you guys back for curing here in about a couple seconds. And just like that, we are done. For the most part, I'm not going to spend too much time here because they do look so similar. Here is the All Style. This one is the Bella Canvas. This is the Next Level. and this is the Cotton Heritage. It's really hard to tell the differences, but I do have good color here and I'm really happy with them. Now I need to cure them. I'm gonna go over the settings again. For curing, these are the settings that I'll be using is 300 degrees Fahrenheit, like I said. Pressure will be at 4, 60 seconds on the clock here, but I usually press it for only about 45 seconds. If I do pop it open and it's not cured yet, I'll go ahead and hit it for that other 15 seconds until it is cured. But those are basically the settings I have. Once it is cured though, I am gonna go ahead and wait 24 hours and do a wash test on all these like I said. So let me go ahead and get these pressed and then I will bring you guys back. So this one's good to go. Again, I'm going in order, so this is the all style. I'm gonna go ahead and get the other 3 cured as well. Looks like the color held up fairly well, so I'm not too worried about them. Again, not gonna spend too much time here. The final results are after I wash them. That's where I'm gonna kind of do the whole breakdown. So I'll bring you guys back once I'm done here. For the most part, they all look the same right now, so I'm not gonna spend too much time here. Next, I'm just gonna wait for 24 hours, put these on the side here, and then after 24 hours, wash them. I do like to wait 24 hours before washing my garments. For my customers, it's usually not a problem because they get it after about 24 hours. So for this sake, I do want to make sure I'm not washing it immediately. So I'll wait a day and then I'll wash them like I normally would with warm water, and then I do like to throw them in the dryer for a tumble dry. So next time I see you guys, I'll bring you guys back. I'll try them, lay them out just like this. And honestly, I don't think there's going to be too much difference. The main point of this video, like I said, is to show you guys the process. At this point, we're just kind of testing for my sake. So thanks for coming along, and I'll see you guys here in a couple seconds. And here are the final results. As a reminder, I have the All Style, the Bella Canvas, the Next Level, and the Cotton Heritage here. Hopefully they come across on camera how well they printed or how well they held up. To my eyes, at least, the Next Level actually looks like the best one, and it's still the most vibrant out of all of them. However, they're all very, very close, and unless you're really looking and you're being really nitpicky, it's going to be tough to see the differences. I think it is true that the higher quality shirts do print a little bit better, because when I am looking at the All Style, it does look a little bit more faded than the rest. So, but overall, I don't know how well this comes across on camera because the differences are so small. So this concludes the video. The whole point of this video was to demonstrate and show you guys my printing process for white shirts. When I was getting started, I struggled a lot with the white shirts because of the fading in the wash after it. I would get a really nice print and then wash it and it would instantly just look terrible. So that's why for me, the pre-treat and the double strike is very important. I do recommend it, but again, at the end of the day, whatever works best for you, just stick with that. And as long as you're getting the desired results, your customers are happy with it. It doesn't matter what my process is if yours works. I think it's very important. I wanted to show the after the wash because like I said, this is the part that I was having the most trouble with. I see a lot of people posting pictures, and I'm not saying they're bad, but posting pictures, posting videos of the print directly after you print it. Of course it's gonna look good, but what does it look like after you cure it, and what does it look like after you wash it? A lot of people don't show that. I just wanted to be a little bit transparent about it. But overall, hopefully I was thorough about it. I did do a video similar to this with the dark shirt, so it was black shirt. The entire process, it's cut down a little bit less, so it runs a little bit long, but I tried my best to kind of lay out everything and show the exact, how long it really takes to truly print something DTG. So if you do have any questions about either process, let me know in the comments below. I'm not a pro, but I have learned a significant amount just from trial and error testing and, seeing what others do and just finding out what works best for me. At the end of the day, I hope you guys found this somewhat entertaining, maybe even learned something, but either way, I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.